Aries. Aries symbol. There can be intense feelings that are hard to understand today, dear Aries, with Pluto prominent and challenging. Someone may seem to want to control or direct you, or financial concerns can nag at you. Your personal interests seem to compete with your duties and obligations, and this can divide you. Transits now can pull up fears or worries, perhaps exaggerating them in your mind temporarily. Ideally, it leads to a better understanding of your feelings about a project, your work, or your ambitions. If there have been too many demands or expectations on you, it's time to find a better balance. You'd benefit most from a slower, steadier, and more straightforward approach to your life. Taurus. Taurus symbol. Interactions with others can be a little strained or edgy in spots today, dear Taurus, and with the moon's move into your partnership sector, it can bother you more than usual. With the Sun and Venus clashing with Pluto, there can be defensiveness, and people tend to hold on a little too tightly to their methods, ideas, and opinions. If someone isn't catching onto your ways or views today, you might take it more personally than usual, but it may be better to wait things out. A buried issue can emerge, or tension can revolve around opinions or communication styles, particularly if you feel that someone is trying to overrule you. Still, events and feelings stimulated now can help you understand where you've been limiting yourself and your happiness, which can be revealing. You stand to learn a lot about your relationships and yourself through your interactions. Aim to be honest with yourself about inner resentments or jealousies and worries. These things can help you see your desires more clearly. Be willing to consider letting go of a matter that's keeping you from enjoying yourself, growing, and improving. Gemini. Gemini symbol. Good energy is with you for practical matters today, dear Gemini, and you can benefit from taking care of business. Still, there can be an obsessive quality to your interactions and a one step forward, two steps backward feel to the day. Consider that overthinking can complicate things, and suspicion may throw you off track. Money matters and questions of ownership may be tricky and require careful handling with the Sun in opposition to Pluto. If you've recently felt undervalued, frustrations can come to a head. A problem that may have weighed you down could reach a turning point, since this transit tends to throw light on some of your worries and fears. You might recognize the need for support or better management of your support systems. While relationships or financial matters may feel loaded or intense now, this is a time to release yourself from problems or burdens or make a plan to do so going forward. You'll feel lighter as a result. Try not to dismiss any feelings of jealousy or resentment, since they can show you some of your desires and needs, perhaps pointing you in the direction of a new interest or path. Cancer. Cancer symbol. Your senses heighten today, dear Cancer, and you can find yourself in a romantic and creative mood. However, there can be some moodiness and restlessness, as you are hungrier than usual for affection, and there is some tendency to second-guess decisions. There may be subtle frustrations with others about core values and money. Circumstances and feelings seem to illuminate insecurities. Today's Sun-Pluto opposition directly challenges you, since the Sun is in your sign, and there can be some tense undercurrents. You might need to deal with a difficult person or situation, or the conflict may occur inside you. An attachment can be holding you back from exploring your options or new opportunities. You may need to break free from a situation to clear your head, and the increased clarity that results can be a driving force to make empowering changes. This transit can certainly set off relationship problems that have been brewing under the surface of things. Still, any conflict that emerges today can reveal vulnerabilities and areas where it may be best to ease off pressures. Leo. You're inclined to give stronger attention to your personal life today, dear Leo. However, complicated transits suggest subtle problems that could have to do with fears of betrayal, jealousy, or resentment. Your ruler, the Sun, forms its yearly opposition to Pluto. Needs seem bigger than life, and pressures to get things done can be enormous, even if you're not feeling up to par emotionally and physically. Your desire to unwind and relax may be challenged, and it's best to recognize your need for a healthy balance. If you've been doing far more than your share, this may no longer be sustainable. Find healthy outlets for your frustration and make plans to improve your routines and workload. Virgo. There is some tendency to focus on a matter and make too much of it today, dear Virgo, with the Sun's yearly opposition to Pluto occurring now. This transit can serve to spotlight areas of over-attachment that are limiting your happiness. Be as honest with yourself as possible, because if you're clinging to something so tightly that your friendships or personal growth are suffering, you'd be wise to take small, substantial steps towards managing this fear. This transit helps reveal insecurities, and you can learn much from them, whether you find yourself at cross purposes with someone or in a battle with yourself. Despite all of this, there is good energy for you on the level of personal attraction and love relationships. You may have some admirers today. Libra. It can be challenging to take a step back and allow others space when you're feeling insecure, dear Libra. However, it's essential to let go from time to time. Buried matters can come to light now with the yearly Sun-Pluto opposition occurring today. Even if a bit uncomfortable, they help you out in the long run. Tensions can surface, and resisting, fearing, or avoiding change may make things worse. It's probably best to recognize a need to make adjustments. Making changes should be done gradually for best results. Rushing things when you're tense won't help. This is an excellent time to clean up your life in fundamental ways, particularly around the home, which can do wonders for the energy you have available to put into your career or responsibilities. Scorpio. The moon's move into your sign today raises the emotional barometer, dear Scorpio. Still, underlying tensions or resentment can emerge. The Sun and Pluto form their annual opposition, bringing tensions to a head related to communications, learning, or transportation. Or, old grudges may emerge, and there could be a sense that someone is trying to dominate the other. Be prepared to let go of a lose-lose battle. This transit tends to pit your desire for new experiences against your attachment to your routines. Even with a lot on your plate, you need to take a break from time to time to refresh yourself and clear your mind. Consider that you may be limiting yourself if you stick too closely to certain habits and methods. Sagittarius. You can begin the day happy to cooperate and mingle, dear Sagittarius. The moon heads into the sign just behind yours later today, and the tendency may be to stick to the background or lay low. However, with the Sun and Venus clashing with Pluto, you're unlikely to appreciate it if someone tries to pull your strings. Do your best not to dwell on what you don't know about a situation, because that's where you're inclined to trip up today. Trust that what you need to know will be revealed to you in time. Even so, you could feel that events today encourage you to confront your feelings or recent circumstances related to ownership, possessiveness, money, and boundaries. If you've been fearful of changes with your financial affairs or in your intimate life, you may need to examine how this attitude has prevented you from growing and thriving. Fears of standing alone can be at the root of tensions today, and if so, it's time for some self-honesty so that you can work on the problem. Capricorn. Today holds some potential for you to enjoy learning, writing, studying, and making connections, dear Capricorn. However, with Pluto prominent and challenged, it's best to avoid overanalyzing. Buried emotions and possibly old regrets or hurts can emerge. You could feel that you're shouldering too much, and it can put some strain on your relationships or interactions with others. If you aim to stay open and flexible, which can be challenging to do right now but still possible, you put yourself in a better position. If you find yourself dwelling on a minor matter, examine what may be the actual source of frustration. This aspect, while disruptive, can help pull up problems into the open. Aquarius. While ticking off items on your to-do list can be satisfying now, dear Aquarius, you can also thoroughly enjoy activities that take you outside of the routine. With the moon's move to the top of your solar chart later today, your worldly ambitions come into the foreground. Epiphanies with career matters can emerge in the days ahead. With the Sun-Pluto opposition today, overthinking can turn against you. Waiting something out may help you see the light, but it may not be easy to do. You might make some important discoveries about your feelings and fears, and the trick is to recognize some of the things going on inside you that may be limiting your opportunities. Aim to tackle guilt, insecurities, or attachments interfering with your productivity or proper routines and self-care. It's a fine time to examine your fears, but it's important not to give them more power than they already have by dwelling on them. Balancing your attention to mental and physical health or work and relaxation seems to be most important now. Pisces. Insecurities about your performance or your usefulness may be in focus today, dear Pisces, with Pluto prominent and challenging. There can be a struggle if you've been experimenting with new ways of enjoying yourself, but tensions with others or projects might interfere with this pursuit. Or, the pressures of a long-term dream or friendship can be intense now. Do your best to prioritize your enjoyment and sense of play since you're likely to need a break. Ideally, transits today help illuminate a problem that may have kept you from enjoying opportunities. If you've been holding on too tightly to people or projects at the expense of expressing your true self, you'll be feeling the restriction and looking to make changes.